So do you ever get that feeling of being tired all the time? Or maybe perhaps not long into a ride and you're already feeling it? Well, I know I certainly do, and there are actually some legitimate reasons for it. So today we're going to debunk a few of those myths and reasons why, and hopefully put a little more pep back in your step. So there can be a number of reasons why you're feeling tired all the time then, ranging from everything you eat and drink to life stresses and all sorts in between. But we're going to kick things off with an obvious one first: overtraining. Overtraining, overriding, call it what you will. I think we've all been guilty of it at some point in our riding lives, shall we say. Now, whether that's getting ready for the summer shredding time or during the summer and you just can't help but put lap after lap after lap in and riding too much, it's definitely something that we've all been done. And there are some common signs of when this may start to occur. So there are some common ways that overtraining can occur. First up, inadequate recovery between training sessions. Too much high-intensity training, typically for too long. Sudden drastic increases in distance, length, or intensity of exercise routine. High volumes of endurance training. And lastly, no vacations, breaks, or off-seasons. You gotta have it, people. And you'll know when you're fatigued, because symptoms can include such things as excessive fatigue, lethargy, especially outside of the gym or riding. Loss of motivation, energy, drive, and enthusiasm to train. Loss of sex drive, never a good thing, and poor concentration, hyperactivity, and an inability to relax. You might also notice things like actually a loss of appetite, which is never good as well, because we'll get onto it, but it will decrease your ability to have the right energy you need as well to perform. So there is science behind this as well as just feeling. Training puts stress on the body, and during your recovery, you come back fitter and stronger. Take away this recovery time and you end up on a downward spiral, causing you to become more and more tired. Let's take a look at some, albeit simplified graphs to help explain the effects of overtraining. Over time, when you train, your body gets tired, but with adequate rest and recovery, your performance then increases. And then by doing this correctly and with proper recovery and the right training, your performance should improve positively as time goes on. On the other end of the scale, you think, I'll smash a ride. So you go out and you hammer it. Then you think, I'll be all right, so I'll hammer it again. And you do this over and over with inadequate recovery in between. And as time goes on, your performance will actually decrease. Now, of course, we're all different, so the amount of stress we can put our bodies through will vary, as will our recovery times. But do bear in mind that different types of exercise can also cause our bodies to burn and get tired at different paces as well. Next up, life. Life stresses. Life is a big one. One that can contribute to why you might be feeling tired next time you're out for a spin. Emotional exhaustion is a real thing and not something to be taken lightly. When stress begins to accumulate from negative or challenging events in life that just keep coming, you can kind of find yourself in a state of, or feeling emotionally worn out and drained. Now, this can be anything from work stresses to everyday things that may be playing on your mind, compounding and growing. So sadly, there's no easy fix on this, but anything you feel that you could be doing contributing to this, take a step back, talk to someone if you can, make a change to whatever it may be, and that can work absolute wonders for reducing your stress. Good luck, people, because I know you can do it. Riding beyond your limits. This one I have first-hand knowledge of. As we all know, riding beyond your limits, there's a few ways that this can occur. So I'll start with the obvious. Going out and smashing an absolutely massive ride and absolutely burying yourself. It sounds stupid, right? And you'd have to be an absolute dummy to do that to yourself. Oof, yikes. But look, it does happen, and it's a case of the mind takes over and you push and push and push, especially if you're as competitive as I am, because we don't want to fail. The downside is you will literally bury yourself and write yourself off for weeks. And if you don't give yourself the correct and adequate recovery time after this, then you're just going to keep digging yourself a hole that you're not going to be able to get out of. That terrible self-inflicted example is one way, obviously, but also sometimes you're not to know, right? You get carried away with all your buddies and you think you're okay, and it's not until the next day or possibly a couple days later that you'll start to feel that horrible, achy, dead muscle feeling. What that feeling actually is because the muscles and the connective tissue around it are getting damaged during exercise, it's actually through resting properly that the repair process takes place and they actually fix back up stronger than before. So diet plays a huge role to how we feel and ties in nicely with what I was just talking about. Eating and drinking the right things before, during, and after riding can play an important role in fueling the engine for the ride, but also helping you recover. You see, the body needs certain things like carbs for fuel, protein to help muscle rebuild, plus fruit and veg to get all the vitamins and minerals you need. On top of that, fluid intake is crucial to help replace any you may have sweat out. If you don't do this, then well, it's a one-way ticket to Strugglesville, I'll be honest, as your body tries desperately to give you the energy you need, but just isn't fueled right for you. Think of it as your car. If you stick the wrong fuel in or not enough, you ain't gonna get very far, people, and as humans, we are kind of the same. So, eat right. Oh, fine bit of asparagus, maybe a bit of croissant. Delicious. It's a hell of a mix. Lack of sleep. So this last one is basically just not resting and sleeping enough. And it's getting you down, it's wearing you out, and that's because you've not been getting enough rest and relaxation. So sleep is crucial to our recovery. It's recommended you try and get a good 7 to 10 hours a day, depending on the level of activity you're doing. And if you're not, the negative effects could actually be huge. You see, we all think that we get stronger when we go to the gym. Actually, we don't. We do the damage when we're at the gym, and it's at night when we're asleep that our body repairs and rebuilds itself, showing just how important that time is. So there are certain things actually that we can do to aid our sleep, and in doing so, fight off that constant feeling of tiredness. Things like create a consistent schedule and try and stick to it, even on weekends, holidays, and any time in between. Also, create a bedtime ritual or routine to wind down to. Make sure you aren't hungry or stuffed when you're going to bed. Nobody wants to go to bed feeling all bloated or actually with their tummy rumbling away. It's not a good thing when you're lying down. Make sure the room is nice and dark and quiet so you can really switch off. And I know that sometimes all of this seems easier said than done, but I've tried a few and it genuinely works, people. Perseverance is key. So look then, there are some reasons why you might be feeling really tired. Like I said, before your ride, during or after. Just please bear them in mind. Hopefully there's been some really helpful, insightful information in here. If I've missed anything, do let me know in the comments down below. Maybe you've got something specific to yourself why you're always feeling tired. But it's been an absolute pleasure, people. I'm out of here. I've got a ton of food to eat through. I've got to eat healthy, look. Until next time, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you later.